HalfAss Homestead. I toil day by day, planting seeds in the soil, hoping they'll find their way. With the rusty old tractor and the trusty old mule, I keep this place running, trying to play it cool. I'm maintaining my HalfAss Homestead where the bluegrass grows, working the land with my hands, that's how it goes. Though it ain't fancy, it's the life for me, living off the land, happy and free, on my HalfAss Homestead.
Hey guys, how we doing? Melvin, Donnie, welcome. Hey Anna Bohr, how you doing? You know, I was really amazed. For those that know Sheila Tubbs, or maybe those that don't even, she sent me some onion sauce, and she blew me away. Hi Dennis. She blew me away. I got the package, and it was a pretty good size package. It was about like this, you know, this tall, and pretty fat. I'm gonna say that probably had 150 onion starts on it. I was like, wow. They survived the mail. That was special to me. I'm actually going to be sending quite a few of them home with one of my employees, Jim, and because they've got a lot of land and they got a lot of room to grow, and they want to grow more onions. And I told them, I says, look, I'm gonna probably plant some of these in my bed Sunday, but whatever's left Monday morning when you guys get here, take them home, plant them, share them, do whatever. You know, there's so many there. They blew me away. I was very impressed by it. And she also gave me a $20 bill with a note that said, put this towards memberships, because she knows I give memberships out to a lot of the channels I watch. And again, I don't do that out of the dollar seed business at all. That money is all out of my own pocket. That's my own paycheck that I'm spending. I spend dollar seed money on advertising and donations and stuff like that. But when it comes time for me to go through and give people like free memberships to another channel, that's money out of my pocket. It's just a given. I told you guys last week I was working on keychains and stuff. I'm still doing that. I actually spent a lot of time doing that. I found out that the laser can knock out one keychain every 4 minutes, give or take. But if I do 10 of them at a time, it takes almost an hour and 20 minutes to do them. So it's kind of weird how that changed because of being one at a time versus, 10 at a time or whatever. But it's a lesson learned, I guess. It's a lesson learned. Leah's always complaining because of our electric bill. Well, when I'm running that big laser downstairs, that has a commercial chiller that has to run with it. Plus, it runs the laser tubes and all that other stuff, motors and whatnot, fans. 2 fans to that one to be able to vent it outside properly and whatnot. And then when I'm up here in my printing room, I have heat presses running. If I'm doing t-shirts, like my HalfAss Homestead t-shirt, that takes a minute and a half on a heat press, but that heat press takes about 5 minutes to heat up. And I don't do just one shirt when I do them. I try to do multiple shirts because it would not make sense to do it any other way. But our electric bill, of course, we got the seed business going on too, with all these computers and printers and everything else everywhere. And our average electric bill is almost $1,000 a month. That's not counting the wood shop. The wood shop hasn't been running because of the winter time. We do have a pellet stove out there. Again, thanks to my employee Jim. We have a pellet stove out there, but we don't actually go out there and do a lot of work when it's really, really cold outside. We save that work for during the summer months. Because if it gets hot in there, we can open doors, we can let air blow through or whatever. And during summer months, our electric bill probably will go up because we will be running that. No, we don't have tater onion starts. Actually, we do sell onion seeds. We sell onion seeds, chive seeds, garlic chive seeds. I've grown onion from seed many times, but I found where there's a lot of local places I can just go buy onion starts. One of them's right here. The next town over from where I'm at. It's about from here about a 45-minute drive. I can go there and spend like $2.99 and come home with over 400 onions. So, do I want to do it here? No, I don't. I do have a grow room set up now. I have a 72 tray starter unit with a clear dome top. It sits on a heat pad. It's got a light above it, and right now it's not full, but it's got a lot in it. And I'm growing for 2 people, so I've got like 6 tomato plants, 6 cucumber plants, 6 pepper plants. I think 6 watermelon plants. But my watermelon last year didn't do good at all. It didn't do good at all. It actually never turned pink on the inside. It stayed white, and so it wasn't edible. I mean, if you want to eat raw watermelon, I guess you probably can do it, but that's not me. But what I did find out is that's an awful lot of watermelon rind that made some pretty awesome watermelon rind pickles, and I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. I did want to eat out of the garden, of course, the watermelon, but they just never matured. They got really, really big. And, I watched Josh and them guys over there, and he says, you're supposed to spank them. Well, I spanked them. They sounded great. I rolled them over like somebody else said and looked for the yellow on the bottom. Yep, they're yellow on the bottom. Well, they ought to be ready. Cut it off the vine, bring it in, cut it in half. Nope, not ready. So, there's a lot of things. Best tomatoes grow in Northwest County, Oklahoma, that are meaty and fairly low seed. It depends on what you want to grow them for. Granado, if you want to grow them, container plants is fine. If you want to grow them for like pasta sauce, the best meaty one I can say is San Marzano. That's like the number 1 pasta tomato that's sold. If you're looking for something more like a cherry type tomato, large red cherry, good to put on your salads, pretty meaty, although they do have quite a bit of seeds in them. I'll be honest with you though, when you have to grow in containers, that's not a bad thing. There's a lot of things you probably would grow in a container that you wouldn't want to put in the ground. A lot of those examples would be like herbs that free seed because they can become very invasive. Another one would be like chives. Chives go great in containers. They put on a pretty wide root base, but at the same time, if that root base isn't allowed to grow, that plant will only get so big as far as expanding. If you plant that in the ground and you don't keep cutting off the top, or even if you do keep cutting off the top, when you cut off the top, it forces it to grow out more roots, and as it grows out more roots, it puts up more chives. My brother Donnie started out with just a little 3-inch circle of chives in his garden, and by the end of the year, each one of those little 3-inch circles was better than 14 inches in diameter because they just had room to keep spreading more roots and keep growing, and they got phenomenally large. Same thing happens when you plant like rhubarb. If rhubarb is growing in a container, you can contain how much rhubarb is going to be growing, but if you put it in the ground, it'll keep setting more roots and bringing up more tops. And of course, if you cut off the big stalks, it brings up the littler ones, and more little ones come up, the healthier the plant gets. So, there's a lot of things like that. Another one would be, in the flower line, would be morning glory. Morning glories, when the flower dies, sets off a seed pod, and inside of each one of those seed pods is probably 20 seeds. So if you let it go to seed pod, the pods will blow open and spread those seeds everywhere they can go. And you'll end up with just having some pretty nice flowers growing along a fence line to, oh my God, they'll be taking the gutters off your house. They're terrible. But that happens a lot too. But it's that way with a lot of herbs. A lot of herbs can actually become very intrusive. I don't think basil's one of them, but there are quite a few of them that are. I've grown basil in the garden bed before, and it always stayed pretty well self-contained. All right, so we went through the electric bill. We've gone through talking about some gardening stuff, which is cool. I don't mind talking gardening. You know, we sell over 300 varieties of seed right now. We also sell essential oils. We sell artisan-made soap. Pretty soon, we're going to be doing homemade candles. I've started getting my supplies together for that because that's something I want to do. Annabelle, I would be really, really against doing that, just simply because blueberries need really, really good, rich soil. And if you put your morning glories in that same rich soil, they may steal more nutrients than the blueberries need. So I would say don't do that. Not only that, but they'll climb through the blueberry bush and they might strangle it out because they suck the little feelers like you get with cucumbers and stuff. It might choke out the blueberries. And Annabelle, I don't know if you know this or not, but in order to get blueberries, you can't plant just one bush and say, "There you go, I'm going to have blueberries this year." You actually you have to have two different varieties so they cross pollinate, and you want to keep them fairly close together. That way they do cross pollinate naturally with the wind blowing or bugs bouncing from one to the other or whatnot. Yeah, I would not recommend doing morning glories with them. That morning glories really, I mean, they can climb. We've had them over 12 feet tall, so morning glories can definitely climb. Very pretty flowers, but they definitely climb too. Now another one I used to grow, I don't like okra. To me, it's slimy, and I've never had okra fixed proper. But what we did in one of our gardens is we planted a bunch of corn. And of course, we didn't have any ammonia in the soil, which we didn't know we needed, so it never set any ears, but it looked cool. And we had a vegetable stand out front, so I just chopped them off at the end of the year and put them out there. And people were actually buying corn stalks. I don't know why. But along with that corn, we planted a whole bunch of okra. If you want to see something that's really pretty, plant okra with your corn plants. They grow up to be about the same height, but you got all these pretty little creamy yellow flowers showing out. It's really, really cool. Yeah, you definitely don't want to plant six of the same. You'll end up six really nice little bushes that don't set any fruit. I learned that the hard way too. Oh, nasturtiums. Yeah, I hear you. I love nasturtiums. That was actually in one of my market gardens. We grew a lot of nasturtiums. And of course, we were doing a lot of family parties and stuff at the time too. And I'd make these like really big, like potato salads and macaroni salads and stuff like that. And I would put nasturtiums all over the top of it. And people would be like, "Why did you put flowers into that potato salad or into that macaroni salad?" And I'd tell them, leave the flour where it is and just eat it. You want to talk about a really, really nice pepper flavor. Nasturtiums have it. You just want to make sure there's no bug in the flour before you pop it in your mouth. I learned that the hard way too. Oh, yes, by all means, Jagernautals, yes, by all means. Marigolds, believe it or not, are great pest control. Great pest control. And it's also a deer control as well. So, yeah, by all means, plant marigold wherever you plant anything, actually. I don't think there's anything that marigold can't be grown with. I think I'd be a little leery if I was growing like blueberries where the acidity of the soil is pretty high. But in the same respect, I think marigolds would survive it because it's just a all-around great plant. All-around great plant. Yeah, people talk about medicine value of the plants. I do have a page on our website at dollarseed.com that talks about different herbs and it touches on their medicinal values. But because we're not doctors and we don't have a lab, we can't verify that it's true. You know what I'm saying? So we have to be careful about how we word things like that. But yeah, I actually borrowed all of the information from the University of Cornell, which is right nearby me. and I use their information because FDA has to say something about everybody, and rather than them coming after me, I'm gonna let them fight the college that I got the information from. I don't think they're gonna. It's probably one of the highest paid colleges in all of New York, and you got veterinarians coming out of there, and you got plant people coming out of there and stuff. So marigolds and lemon balm were about to take over my garden last year because I couldn't take care of it all. Yeah. Well, the funny part about marigolds is when the flower starts to look like it's dying, you can go out and cut that flower head off and just throw it in an empty dishpan or tote or whatever, and you can plant them again next year. If they fall off the flower, you're looking at probably 200 seeds per marigold flower. It's going to drop onto the ground, and after the snow or whatever, depending on where you're at, it could be just a whole lot of rain. Seeds them back into the ground thaws out, Mother Nature tells them to grow, and then they'll just keep right on spreading. It's a lot like a dandelion. Hey, Radio Jonesy, how we doing, sir? But yeah, I mean, marigolds can be very invasive that way too. There's a lot of them can be actually. I don't think nasturtium so much because I think every flower of a nasturtium, if you don't cut it off, will set a pod that will release. But I think it only releases like 6 seeds, and out of those 6 seeds, maybe only 3 or 4 might actually grow. Well, Jay Granados, I don't know if you've heard this story or not, but believe it or not, marigolds are what started my company, Dollar Seed. That's what started it. I had a bunch of really, really large marigold seeds given to me from a lady where my parents were living, and they were called colossal marigolds. Well, I never grew them, Yeah. But I did. I planted them. I planted them in one of my long beds. And we had marigold seeds that were as big around as a dollar bill is long. And we ended up sharing that with the Human Flower Project. And it just went all over. Somewhere out in California, a news station picked it up, and then Woman's Day magazine called me for interviews and stuff because I was just giving marigold seeds away. I deadheaded every one of those flowers through them in dishpans. I think I had 6 dishpanfuls by the time we got down to the end of the season. And that's what started Dollar Seed. Was my landlord came to the house to collect rent, and in my living room I probably had 30 mail totes. One side of the room was ones ready to go out. The other side of the room were ones I just brought in. And he's like, "What the heck?" And I says, "Yeah, we're giving away free marigold seeds." And he's like, "What?" And I says, "Yeah, we're only going to give away up to 10,000. Hey, TNT Adventures, how we doing? We're only going to give away up to 10,000. And he's like, "Dude, you realize how much money you'd have in the bank if you sold each one of them for $1?" And right after you left, I looked up the name Dollar Seed, and it was available, so I registered it, and that kicked off my company. So yeah, it's a long story. It goes farther back than that, but it was a fun story. I enjoy it. Took a lot of time to figure out what we were doing. Got to keep it simple, stupid, or keep it stupid, simple. I don't know how that works out. It's one of those two. To me, it was like keep it simple / stupid. Hey, Lord Larkin, how we doing? So, yeah, anybody got any more questions for me while we're talking about planning and stuff or anything like that? I'm game. I mean, we can talk about it. My personal preference right now, my last big garden was actually a 20-year-old cow manure. And I'll tell you what, that was a very productive garden. But now we're working with a company called OCCRA, Onondaga County Community Recycling Agency. And what they do is they take all of the scraps from like cafeterias and grocery stores and whatnot, and they compost it. And then they sell that compost. They get it up to 160 degrees, and they keep it there for like, I think it's a whole week, rolling the piles over. So there's guaranteed no weeds, no seeds, no nothing viable in that pile. And it actually has quite a bit of good nutrients. I think it needs to have some added to it, but it has quite a bit of good nutrients. my last place in McLean where I lived, we brought it in by the tractor trailer load. We had 34 raised beds. Here, we brought it in by a dump trailer load, and I've still got quite a bit left. So I'm going to probably move like a watermelon and maybe my squash and stuff right into that pile that's left. And just say, well, where's that? It's at. Grow it in there, and don't try to box it in, make it another raised bed or anything. Just leave it where it's at. Uncover it, plant stuff in it, see what happens. At the end of the year, I'll probably just rake the whole thing out anyway and just use it to level the yard. That's pretty expensive stuff. But I also have my 2 raised beds too. And those are both 4 by 8 foot raised beds. That's why I'm kind of a little picky on what I've been putting into the seed starting tray. 6 of these, 6 of those, 6 of these, 6 of those. I mean, if I want to plant radishes, all I got to do is drop the seed in the ground. I'll have radishes in 30 days. I love radishes. And if you don't know this, you can take radishes, cut them up really, really thin, like run them over a mandolin or whatever, spread them out onto a cookie tray, give them a quick spray of like a canola oil, and then dust them with chili powder, put them in the oven at like, I think it was 150 to 200 degrees, and leave them in there till they just start to turn golden brown. Bring them back out, shake them off the tray into a bowl. Oh my God. Acre? Yeah, I'm in country. I'm in country. Yeah, I don't have acres. I have 0.59 acres with a house, a seed house, external building for wood storage, and a 3-car garage that's my wood shop. So I have land. Plus I got my boat, my camper, my truck, my car, parking for my employees, a place for my chickens. So yeah, I'm on a little tiny piece of land. How's my future plans for going to Arkansas? Radio Jonesy, I'm saying right now it's looking up really, really well. For those of you guys who watch Junk to Gems, they're actually going to look at a piece of property that is much bigger than they want, under the concept of other people can buy parts of that land and kind of create our own little community. And I'm all for that. We're talking 10-acre parcels here. I didn't want 10 acres, but I will buy 10 acres if the price is right. Because I know when you buy smaller parcels of land, the prices go up. And if you buy through a realtor, then they automatically inflate the prices because they want to make a higher commission. So, it's all in that part there. Okay, squash bugs. All right, if you had them really, really bad last year, okay, there's 2 things you can do to help control squash bugs. And it also can help with the whiteness that grows onto the leaves of squash. You put a couple of drops of Dawn dish soap into a spray bottle. You add in about a teaspoon of baking soda. Fill it about halfway with water. Don't put the spray nozzle on it, and just shake it. And don't use hot water either. Just shake it back and forth till the baking soda kind of dissolves. Then filter the rest of the way up. Close the nozzle up and spray that directly on your plants. The Dawn dish soap will help keep the beetles away, and the white stops almost all the fungus from being able to attack the plants as well. I only know that because I worked at a baking soda factory and I ran a test run on it. And I said, by George, this stuff does work. Yeah, I got my fingers crossed too, TNT. I'll tell you, Gary Skuse and Mary and I have become really good friends. I mean, we're talking on the phone almost every day. And they're going to go be, I believe today, they went out and started recording some of the properties and stuff that they're looking at. If that one works out, fine, great. If not, I asked them to do me a favor. When you go out and you do the walk and you record the property, whether you like it or not, would you do me a favor and send me a copy of the video? Naturally, you don't want to share every one that you think is a piece of garbage that you don't think you ever want. But one man's junk is another man's treasure, as Gary likes to say. And, if the deal with the big lot falls through, I wouldn't mind having the ability to go look for another small lot. My original plan was 4 to 6 acres. Would I take 10? Well, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I like them too. I like them too. TNT. I'll be honest with you, Tracy. I have been literally on the phone with Gary almost every day for the last 2 weeks, talking about merchandise, talking about land, talking about future plans and this and that. And I'll be honest with you, I classify him as a really, really good brother because we treat each other like brothers. We don't sit down and bicker and well, I guess we really don't treat each other like brothers. My brothers and I used to fight all the time. But yeah, I mean, we just get along so great, and we talk all the time. I actually asked him to give Mike and Listen my phone number so Mike and I can do the same. And I know that if Mike gets my number, eventually Mr. Warren, come on, Milkman's going to get my number. And, I mean, same thing with like Melanie and Gary over there, Simple Life Reclaimed. I sent seeds to David, and she's like, "Oh my gosh." And I was like, "What, Mel? I've been telling you for the last 3 months that you got to send me your wish list. Tell me what you want." And she says, "Well, I kind of want everything you just sent him." And I was like, "Okay." And then I've been watching Roxanne and Anthony, CRC. And Roxanne was talking about, well, maybe I want to put morning glories along this new arbor. So I'm working on putting herself together. I actually had to just take a bunch of T-shirts down to wash so I can get them printed because they have stains from something. I'm not sure what it is. But once those stains get washed out, probably tomorrow I'll be back up here printing some more shirts. And I've got one more shirt to do for Melanie and Gary. And then after those 2 shirts are done, I'm sending them a crap load of seed. A crap load. I mean, it's a lot. Well, thank you, Jay Granados. I'm hoping so too. It's one of those things where, like I say, I could talk to realtors, and I tried talking to a realtor down there, and I told her, hey, you got this acreage available for this price. I'm very interested in learning more about it. Here's some questions that I have. Can you please get a hold of me? This is my phone number. This is my email. And she never got back in contact. She never got back in contact. And because she didn't get back in contact, I just decided, you know what? It's either been sold or maybe I wasn't talking to somebody real, I mean, that happens too. I learned that about Facebook Marketplace. People will list things for sale they don't even own. They'll either go steal it or they'll pretend they own it. They'll take your money and then you will never hear from them again. I've learned that from there. I've actually learned a lot of things from Facebook itself too. Some people you can trust and some people you just have to have your wonders about. One of them, I've known his father for, 20 years or better. And I did some work for him. And instead of paying me, he's avoiding me. I've known his father for 20 years, but what I don't know is where his father is presently living. But I do have another friend that would know. I'm just not pressing that issue right now because I don't want to get a fight inside of their family going just because a kid owes me money. I call him a kid. He's probably 36 years old. But, well, thank you, Annabelle. I appreciate that. It's kind of ironic, You want to get one of my T-shirts? All right, TNT Adventure. I'll tell you what. We'll make a deal. Let me step into a different part of this program here real quick. And we'll go to this one. Oh, no, I don't want dashboard. I don't want that one. I don't want that one. Whoops, that's not the one I wanted. Back one. There we go. All right. We'll do that one, and then we'll come in here. Okay. You wanted one of my t-shirts? Here's the way to do it. You got to type in hashtag t-shirt. Everybody who wants a t-shirt, get it in there. Somebody's going to win one tonight. And it won't be the white one like everybody else has been wearing. Well, depending on size, I guess. It might be a totally different color because I do have other colors available. And I'm really playing with some of these other colors because my logo is black and white, you know. So I can put that on. I could even put that onto a dark blue shirt and it would show up. Not great because it'd be in dark blue, but it would still show up. So I've been kind of playing around with that idea a little bit today. Hence why I've got a bunch of laundry going on right now, as I realized I had stains on a whole bunch of shirts that aren't anywhere where they should be stained. It might just be age, sunlight shining through the windows, whatever. Hopefully it washes out. If it doesn't, then those won't be given away or anything. They'll just be thrown away. Hey, Pafford Homestead, how you doing? Hashtag t-shirt if you want in on the giveaway. We're going to let this run until, I don't know, a little while anyways. Give everybody a chance. All right, so far we got 4 entries. Do I post OS? What's that mean, radio? You know, actually, Jay Granados, I don't know how that would work with polyester. I know tie-dye works great with cotton, but I print on polyester shirts. No, actually, Radio Jonesy, we don't ship overseas. Sorry, buddy. If I could actually tie-dye them and have them hold the tie-dye, that would be really cool. But they're already colored already, so I don't know. Maybe that wouldn't be so cool. I guess if you want to tie-dye shirts, the best way to do it is to start with the white one. I can try with the white one to begin with and go from there. Hey, we're gonna do the drawing first here, and then we got a guest coming in to join us. So let's go to the drawing tool, and we're gonna draw. Oh, that wasn't supposed to come out like that. Atasha Lynn just won. And now we're going to bring the devil on stage and talk to her about what she just did. No. We'll do it again before the night's out, guys. How you doing?
Hey, guess what? Guess where I am?
I don't know.
I'm home.
Oh, you're home?
Yeah, finally.
You got water?
Yes, I fixed it. I fixed that and ran PEX piping and became a professional plumber.
Good, good. Oh, that'll come in handy later on down the road.
Yeah.
I'll have you over there. No.
I replaced the faucet and I replaced what else did I replace, KJ? You don't even want to talk to me. The tub knob and shower head. I installed a whole house water filtration system.
There you go.
I never done one of those before. So yeah, I'm home. I had to.
Is that a reverse osmosis water system or just a?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's not black no more. So I must have done something right. So.
I've got one of those still sitting in the box. I was going to put it in, but Leah was like not deciding where she wanted to put the kitchen sink when we remodeled the kitchen. I'm like, well, I'm not putting it in until you decide. You know, I want it under the sink.
Right. So next, I got to do a furnace. I'm still in New York with no heat.
Yeah, well, you know, it's going to be 60 tomorrow. So.
Right. I made it through. I made it through the winter in New York with no heat. So we got this. As long as we could get the spring, we were good. So. I think I get a cheaper furnace during the summer when it's gas, or when it's gas. Summer when it's warm.
Well, I'll be honest with you. We bought this house 4 years ago. The furnace was bad, so we run 2 of the Blue Flame heaters. We got one on the first floor and one down in the basement. The one in the basement just keeps the basement, you know, from freezing the water pipes or whatnot. And then the one on the first floor heats the whole first floor, and because heat rises, it actually heats most of the second floor as well. So, you know, it's not too bad.
That's cool.
The bad furnace is still sitting down there hooked up, but I don't even know where any of the pipes go because they covered them up with carpet for most of the part.
Are you gonna eat all that chicken wing dip?
Why are you hungry?
I made a crock pot full, and I had a dish earlier, but I don't think I'm gonna get any more.
I made a big pot roast if you're hungry. Come on down.
Right? Oh, that sounds good.
I got enough for 10 people.
Is it cold there?
We're 40 degrees right now.
Oh yeah, so you're about the same. I think we're a little warmer here actually.
Yeah, that would surprise me.
It stopped raining though, finally.
I know Wednesday when I left here to go to Union Springs, it was 59 when I left in the morning, and it was like early, 8 o'clock in the morning. And when I got back home at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, it was down to 53, and I was like, boy, that's chilly. I left with no coat on or anything. Of course, I get over there, and it was raining, and the wind was blowing across the lake, so it was really chilly. And I was like, all right, whatever. I'll deal with that.
So what's this shirt?
What's the shirt? The shirt's HalfAss Homestead.
Oh, like your new logo?
My new logo, and it could be.
I'll have to wear. I'll wear that for the May meetup then.
It may be a
Since
white
you're not
shirt.
going.
Yeah, I'm not going unless we get land in there. Then I will be. It'll be either a white shirt, a silver shirt, a yellow shirt, or possibly a blue shirt.
I should probably be daring and go white and then see if I can make the weekend.
What? I need you to do me a favor. Oh, it's not running across the bottom. Hold on just a minute. There you go, banners.
I can't even see chat.
There we go. Show the banner across the bottom. It's got my email address on it. If you can email me your address and your size.
Yeah, the farm is public. Our address is public.
Well, if I make it up that way, I'll have to go to your son and say, "Where's your mom live?"
Don't worry, he'll snitch me out quick.
Actually, how far are you from Brian at Vineyard Farmhouse? Do you have any idea?
I think he said an hour and a half. I think you're farther from me than he is.
Really? Wow.
I don't know. I just got a friend request from him on Facebook not too long ago, a few days ago.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I quit the bowling league, so I'm home Saturday nights now. Well, now that I'm home.
That's funny. I was the only one in my bowling league that didn't quit. I got a trophy for sportsmanship.
I see TNT Adventures is in there.
Yeah.
See, I can see the comment when I flip it up, but then I don't see like the comments as they're coming in. I can just see earlier comments. You know, TNT Adventures means this and that, and I own this and that. So that's my girl right there.
There you go.
I couldn't believe that when she told me that.
Have to change it to TNA Adventures. Why don't do that.
I get enough groupies at this and that, believe me.
I was thinking TNA don't go good together. There's a reason for that one. I remember from high school now. Don't do that.
So you're doing cups now and everything?
Yeah, we do cups, tumblers, T-shirts, keychains, coasters. We do all kinds of stuff. All kinds of stuff.
Yeah, well, you know I'm home now, so I'm like trying to catch up on all of my shows, and I watch 30 different channels. So I'm around the clock watching shows to catch up, and I hear your name nonstop.
Well, that's cool. That means people are appreciating what I'm doing, you know?
Yeah, well, they're usually stabbing themselves with your knives.
Yeah, well.
They'd be like, oh, crap, Muffin got me again. I'd be over here dying.
I did the same thing today myself. I used my own knife to open one of the Amazon boxes, and I cut my finger with it. And I was like, are you serious? Of all the stupid things. It's just, you know, sometimes they put some really good tape on those Amazon boxes. And it's even worse if they fold the edge of the box over. So when you go to open it up on the side, it's already folded over. So now you're trying to cut through the tape, but the box is in the way. That's what happened to me.
That's these Chewy boxes over here. This last storage unit I just bought was full of DVDs. Like, you
Oh.
want DVDs? I'm your girl. Peaceful Does told me she's gonna go live with me to do them, but we keep putting it off and putting it off. But there's like thousands of these. This lady, she hoarded DVDs, food, and garbage.
Wow. I could see DVDs. I don't know about the food part. Depends how long it's been in storage.
2000 was the date on most of it.
Well,
It's been in there a few years.
if it's something like spices that haven't been opened, they're good for 30 years.
Oh my God, you should see. Yo, I don't know if I should show you because you're gonna think even less of me. Yo, look what I just brought home. I don't know how to. Both boxes, bro. Can you see them?
Yep.
Our spices, and the big one underneath is like, there's like 4 boxes of spices.
Well, hey, if I showed you my spice cupboard, you'd be going, yeah, we must be related.
My son's like, what do you need all of them for? And I'm like, I'm hoarding. Just leave me alone, bro. They were in my unit. They're mine now.
I have a really, really big cabinet next to my stove. And the top and bottom shelf are both filled with all different spices and stuff. And the bottom one actually has some that are doubled up. The top one doesn't because I have trouble reaching those. I got a little step stool for that one. But then I got spices into another cupboard for my canning. And then I got spices behind me in another cupboard for something else. I've got spices everywhere.
I wish I'd find some old ones. Like, I find all this crap, but I never find, like, you know, the old spice cans your grandparents had, the metal ones, like the old tins. And I never find any.
Well,
I haven't been that lucky yet.
If you can find those are collectible. People actually collect those.
Yeah, if I ever find them.
Yeah,
I've been doing this 13 years and I ain't never seen one.
Well, it's like I'm getting ready to start doing candles, and I went to Walmart and I found these 8-ounce canning jars on clearance, $8 a dozen. I was like, man, that's a really good deal. So I grabbed 12 of them. I grabbed 12 of them, and I brought them home. And I decided, well, I'm opening this package up to see what they look like because they're not ball jars, they're not mason jars, they're made by a company called Golden Harvest. And I was like, wow, these are really nice jars. So next day I jumped in the car and went back to Walmart thinking, I want to buy the rest of them they got on the shelf. I got there and they didn't have any. So then I came back home and I was like, all right, we'll try Walmart.com. Nope, they don't have any. And I was like, all right, well, let's try Amazon, Golden Harvest canning jars. And you know what I found out? They went out of business many, many years ago, and they're a collector's item now. And I'm going to be putting candles. I'm putting candles in them. I don't care. They're a nice looking jar.
That's a good deal, then. It's a damn good deal. I was on a live earlier for my show. I'm trying to sell some junk. And somebody was in the comments saying that Walmart.com had a special on olives, like black olive. I don't eat black olives. I only eat green. But they were saying they were getting cases of them for 30 cents because it was like a glitch in the computer. And they were just buying up all these cases of olives.
I watched the guy go to the gas station, and he showed it on the pump. The sign didn't have the same price as what the pump had. The pump had it for 10 cents a gallon. He filled his car for $14.47. I was like, are you serious? It's like, yeah.
That's crazy.
Lori Larkin, if you want to ship them to me, I'll buy them from you as long as they're the 8-ounce jars. Those are awesome jars.
Yeah, see, I don't like that I can't see the comments. I don't want to talk to you anymore. I love you, but not that much.
Get a computer.
I brought the computer home. It's sitting on the floor with the DVDs. You can kind of see it.
Okay, Wanda, that's not a problem.
I made that much, and I bought a new printer. I brought it here. So, baby steps. Yo, I recorded a video of myself, DD5. Fucking Lissa was writing me, and she's like, just do like there are DTS, or I don't know what the other channel. They're like, we don't do them live. We just do them walking around and whatever. They're not edited. Just record a video. So I recorded a video my first day back here of me like working and doing this stuff. Oh my God, I'm so awkward. It was so bad to watch. Like we sat here and we watched it, me and my 2 sons last night, and he was like, no, just no. It was awful.
Yeah, there are other channels, Drifting with Dreamers.
Oh my God, no. No, Mike and Lissa, Mike especially, they're trying to be recruiters. They're like the army.
Yes, they are. They are. But you know what? Mike is a great guy.
Yeah, they are.
I met
Amazing people.
I met him in Oklahoma. He's a really good guy, and I actually was like instantly able to sit down with Mike and have a conversation with him. And at Oklahoma, they were giving away backpacks, and I was still sitting there talking to Mike, and Mike looked up and he's like, "Oh my God, I need one of those." And I just looked at him and said, "All right, well, if our number gets called, it's yours." And I'll be darned if Leah didn't go up to pick up a backpack. And I was like, "Hey, Leah, bring it over here." And she's like, "What?" I said, "I just told Mike if our number gets called, he can have it." And she's like, "Oh, okay. Well, hi, Mike. I'm Leah."
That's awesome. I could see him doing that.
Yeah, it just blew him away, though. He's like, "Well, I can't believe you just did that." And I said, "Well, why wouldn't I? You said you wanted it. I don't have a need for it. I've
Right.
got I've got enough stuff trying to be stored in my house right now. I just had
Yeah, I
like
keep sending Serenity all my goddaughter's clothes. I keep finding them. She's too small. Every time I find them, I ship them out to DD5.
I just had a whole bunch of wax and boxes and jars and labels and all
Yeah,
so much.
so
I'm
don't
just
mind that hole I filled in behind me.
Where do I put it? Where do I put it? Where do I put it? I'm running out of space. My poor print shop doesn't even have walk around room, and now my downstairs back patio where my big laser is also my candle making area. So I've got boxes on the love seat, so I can't sit down and watch TV.
Oh, that's cool. You're making candles though. Why don't you do it on that big packaging table? Put some wax paper down.
What's that?
Why don't you do it on your big packaging table? Put some wax paper down.
Oh, we don't
Or
really have
parchment paper.
we don't really have a big packaging table. What we have is a big T-shirt folding table. That's also where we do all of our essential oils and the coffee mugs, and yeah, stuff is constantly in a flux, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Doing coffee mugs, we have like a really big 18 by 18 tile we put down on that table because the coffee mugs are so hot it would melt the surface of the table.
Oh,
And
that's
same
pretty cool.
thing with like signs or anything like that, we put them on that because that will absorb the heat. Tumblers and stuff like that, once they come out of the oven, they go right into the refrigerator I got up here. Beer be damned. My beer never gets warm from them anyway. There's never that many tumblers. But yeah, so that table gets used for doing coffee mugs and signs and stuff like that. And T-shirts, laying out the top of the T-shirt, like for 4XL T-shirts to get something centered is very, very difficult because of the size. It's almost the
Mhm.
size. It's almost as much as I can reach to go from armpit to armpit on these things. And I have to be able to center it on the table so then I can center the design onto the T-shirt. So I have my T-shirt folding machine there, and then I take that off and I put the tile on there, or I take that off and I do the placement for stuff on there. And then when we're doing oils, I have butcher black paper that I put on there so we don't spill any oil onto the table. So yeah, it's like a multi-use area. And of course, all my bottles for all the different essential oils is on there. We package the soap on there. That table gets used so much it's not even funny. I
I
don't think
love that table. I need one someday.
I don't think I'd survive without it, to be honest with you. So yeah, the seed house is all on its own separate thing. They've got their own packaging areas and all that stuff out there. So I thank God. I actually just bought a new printer and everything, and so anything getting shipped from the print shop gets printed out with a label from made up here, so it's not interfering with me having. I don't have to go down to the seed house and try to print stuff. That was getting to be a real pain in my neck. It all uses the same account but different setup. So when you ship your stuff out, do I have a website, TNT? Yes, Tracy, I do. I actually have dollarseed.com, which is my seed business. I don't know if you can see it or not, but dollarseed.com, that's the seed business.
Mm.
And then for the print shop, I'm working with you and I to get one set up because right now it's there, but it's not there. And that's called midlineshop.com. The name of the business is actually Midline Graphics, but it's midlineshop.com for the website. I did register midline graphics, but when I went to transfer it over to you and it didn't transfer proper, so I had to add another name to it. So Tasha, you ship a lot of stuff out. What platform do you use for shipping?
I ship United States Postal Service. I package everything, ship everything myself. But like I'm having a real issue right now because like some of these bigger items, like this one unit I just got is full of vacuums. I can't ship a vacuum. I got like full size handheld shampoo, like Jesus.
UPS?
So I went down here. There's a storage unit place down here for 4 properties down from the farm, and I went down there and rented 2 units, 14 and 18, and talked to the guy because it's going up for sale like the next year or the year after, and I've always I just want to buy them to hoard. So I went and rented 2 of them, and I've been moving the bigger items. Like the little items are here. I can't fill up the house like I did that one night. Oh my God. With all that army stuff, that was crazy. So I rented 2 units, and now I'm gonna have a $1 pop-up sale. I'm gonna put it in all the papers and all the Facebook and all my store website and all that, and then just do all items start at $1. Like, let's go. Because it's too hard. Some of these littler items are getting hard to ship. And I just shipped a package, well, 2 if you count come-ons, and they're both smashed. They arrived completely in pieces.
See, that's the
and I inserted them and everything.
That's the problem I had with Drifting Dreamers 5 with their coffee mugs. 8 out of 36 got smashed, and I was like, okay, not going to ship them by the case anymore, which is sad. You know, these cases go from China to another warehouse, and then from that warehouse to me, and I've never had a broken coffee cup. I've never had a chipped coffee cup. They go from me to Mike after they've been printed, and oh my God, 8 of them are totaled. And I'm like, what?
I haven't dealt with that a lot. So, like, how do I go about, like, filing that? Like,
I don't know, because with me, I had to ship USPS because it was going to a post office box. If they would have gave me the personal address, you know, of where I could have dropped it off at the mailbox, I could have done it through UPS, who brought them to me, and they didn't break any of them. But I had to do USPS because it went to a post office box, and that's how they got broken, was, you know, careless people.
Right. That box that I shipped said I wrote fragile all over it like a psycho. Like, oh, yeah. Everywhere on it. They could clearly see it.
Mike's
and
box,
paid for the insurance.
Mike's box had fragile on every side, top and bottom. And they still broke them.
I'll have to send you a picture the picture David sent me. It was bad. It was really bad.
Well, what I told him is from now on, rather than selling cases of coffee mugs, 36 bucks at a time,
I'm getting attacked.
you sell the mug to your customer, give me their name and their address, and I'll drop ship.
For Ken.
I'll drop ship them. I actually went out and bought special boxes just to be able to drop ship coffee mugs and make sure that they can't get broken in the box, you know.
See, I wish I could drop ship. I could just, you know, somebody could order something and I could have somebody else do it. But
now, do you have to carry everything down to the post office to get rid of it?
To what? Yeah, I take everything.
Have you ever considered doing like ShipStation or Stamps.com?
No, I've been doing it too long. I started out on eBay when I was a teenager, and then moved to. I was on, you know, what the hell was that site? Overstock. Overstock was a big one back then, and I've moved through them. That's for sure. The fees nowadays, plus my credit card processing fees, on top of my shipping fees, on top of my shipping supplies, I make $1 at the end of the day if I'm lucky, and I work really hard.
All right. Yeah, I hear you.
So.
I hear you. Well, that's what a lot of people don't understand.
Everybody is very upset with me right now because, you know, my season starts for student move out May 15th. That my oldest daughter's birthday. It always starts every year May 15th. And guess who's not going to be here May 15th? Because I'm going to Arky.
There you go.
I told him I'm not coming back to work till the 21st because it's going to take me 18 hours down, 18 hours back. Nobody's happy with me this year.
Are you driving down?
Yeah, we're driving.
Cool.
We're going to look at a piece of land while we're down there. Well, a few of them. A few. I've been back and forth with these realtors, and things go very quickly. Very quick. I fell in love with a 9.6 acre property up in the Ozarks with 2 ponds. I wanted it like that. I was working all morning. By the time I got back to the realtor, it was gone by the afternoon. I was pissed. I was beyond pissed.
Now,
It was beautiful.
you remember what I told you about working with a realtor, though, right?
Yeah, I know. I know.
I
Hey, I
do.
bought this with a realtor and I've done pretty good. I've tripled my money in
Yeah,
several
well,
years.
I
It's
bought
on the land. It's not even for this shit trailer. It's the land. I wouldn't even, my son wants this trailer. So that's why we're playing with it.
well, you got to have some place to stay when you're not there.
Yeah, no, I was in my
Right now,
building.
the horses.
I stay in my store. I stay in my big store in Geneseo. I have a little office. I have a couch in my office, and if it's just me, I could stay in a tent.
Right. Well, you
He's
got
the
a
last kid to go.
camper you're remodeling now too, right?
Yeah, I have 4 campers out back, but I'm trying to talk KJ into giving me his because his is a bit. Remember, I told you I just have a little tiny Shasta. I have an old school 10-foot Shasta. I loved it. And then when my daughter bought hers, she bought hers double the size of mine. So it's like, I don't know, 16 feet camper. And then he gets his and it's 39 feet. Like they're all
Oh,
trying to show me up.
that's like a house.
So
That's almost a house trailer.
right. So I'm trying to talk him because he hasn't used his since I bought him that. It was a gift. I bought all of them. They're all gifts for their birthday or Christmas or something stupid. Because they got too old where they weren't little kids and I couldn't just buy them Legos. So I bought him a camper. And now I'm trying to get him to let me go remodel that whole 39, take that to Arky. And then that way I at least have something there on the land until I send the shipping containers.
Right.
I'm not sending my bus. I was going to. I talked to a company to take it down there and how many mileage it is. And we're talking almost like 4 or 5 grand to move it from here to there. It's
Oh,
So I'm just going to sell it. I'm going to sell the school bus or just leave it here on the property, I guess.
oh.
I can't wait to see Wiley and Jen move all their buses.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
For real. They said they're building their house out of tires, and I got a crap load of tires behind the school bus, but it would cost me a fortune to get them there. So I wish I could donate them to them.
Okay, so for those that are still watching, we are going for t-shirt giveaway number 2, and use the hashtag t-shirt2, the number 2, t-shirt 2. I know Tracy wants to get one, so we're really sitting back. Yeah, see, I use stamps.com for doing most of my shipping. And the one rule of it is that if it's going to a post office box, it has to be shipped by the post office. It can't be done by UPS, FedEx, or DHL, or anybody else. It has to be done by the USPS because it's a post office box.
Well, see, I never knew that because I don't use anything else.
Dennis Green, you forgot the t-shirt word.
Hi, Dennis. I can't see anybody's comments, so I don't know who's here. Hi, everybody.
Melvin Donnie, you left an extra space. I don't think capitalization, non-capitalization matters, but kind of getting them all in the right order does. Dennis Green, okay, now you left the space between the T and the shirt. I don't think that'll go through. Well, actually, it's not a TEE, it's just a T-shirt 2. Glenn, you had it right the first time.
You know what I'm about to get into though is a jewelry tester because I started finding all those jewelry boxes and then I've been dumping them in one box, and now I got a big box full, but I don't know what's real and what's not real.
Well, actually, costume jewelry goes for almost as much as real jewelry now if you can find the right market for it.
Yeah, I think I need one of those diamond tester, gold. I don't know. I'm gonna have to buy a bunch of crap. I thought about taking it to a pawn shop, but last time I did that with a gold ring and got $250 for it, and later found out it was like thousands of dollars. I got screwed.
Wow.
So no more of that. No more of that.
All right. I actually did. We did a house clean out, and I think we had like, I don't know, probably 5 van loads. The deal was anything that went in my van or in my car came home with me, and anything that went on the truck or in the trailer went to the dump. And we charged them for every dump load and whatnot. And we charge them for every load, even the ones we brought back to the house, we charge them for. And there was a lot of antiques. So what I did is I set up a lot of the antiques into the yard on tables, and I called up all the local antique dealers and said, "You come give me the value of items that are in this lot right here, make them fair values, and I will let you pick one item for doing it." And this one guy came in, he says, "Yeah, I just want that box of buttons." Well, I'm thinking sewing buttons, I'm like, "Yeah, go ahead." This kid came back over. I didn't even realize it made it out of the shed. They were all the I like Ike propane buttons. Or yeah, propane, not propane. Um, running for president thing.
Campaign.
Campaign, yeah, that's the word. There were all these campaign buttons from like I like Ike and a bunch of these other ones. And I was like, "Oh man, did I just get taken on that one?" Each one of those buttons was worth $150.
Wow.
And I was like, "Man, I did not know." I thought when they said, I'll just take that box of buttons, I thought he was talking about sewing buttons, because we had them too. And I was like, "Yeah, go ahead." It's like, "Well, okay, got taken on that." So yeah, I mean, I did get a lot of money out of doing that, and we had so much stuff that it was a perpetual garage sale for like almost a month.
That's what I'm thinking about doing at these 2 storage units, and then enlisting a crew of people to keep watch. And
Every time we sold something that left an open space somewhere, we'd go grab something else to fill that space up. We had racks and racks and racks of really old clothes and stuff like that. And at the end of the sale, we still had a lot of really old clothes. And I was like, I know exactly what we're doing with these. So we backed my van up to the sale, put in some clothes bars, and just took all those hanging dresses and old man's clothes and stuff and just put them all on clothes bars. And we went to the local theater, backed up to the loading dock, and said, "Hey, you guys want these?" Oh my God, they were like phenomenally going, "Yes, yes, yes, we want them, we want them, we want them." And I bet they walked out of there with probably 150 to 200 outfits, the full vest, jacket, pants, the fluffy frilly dresses that the women used to wear back in the day.
right, probably union workers. You ever heard of Union Workers brand?
No, I haven't.
They're like the old clothes that were made in like 50s, 60s, I think.
No, see, I didn't really pay attention to anything that was brand. I was just looking at it as, was it quality?
Yeah,
And
they have these weird tags in them that I think they sewed in or somebody. They're not like our normal tags we have now.
I just looked at it saying, is it a quality item and is there any moth damage? Nope. Okay, good. Hang it up. And pretty much with all the clothing, it was just, whatever you want to name a price for it, we'll probably sell it to you. Just to get rid of it. All right, I'm going to do the other drawing. I don't know how to pull it over onto here so everybody else can see. So I'm going to just go ahead and run it. We got 7 entries. All right, that worked out really, really well. Hey, Tracy, guess what? You just won a T-shirt on
Congrats, you won.
TNT Adventures. You just won a T-shirt.
Congrats, TNT.
My email's at the bottom of the screen scrolling across, but if you can't read it, it's CROWNPC@Yahoo.
I think it's TNT, and then I think of Goat Days. I miss Goat Days. I've been able to watch them the whole time at the hotel. I hate it. Are you still doing those lights?
Yes. I've actually got 2 more to do tomorrow. That the first one that I do is going to be just a test. I've got a plexiglass I'm going to run it on because it's a really, really dark picture with 3 cats in it, and one of the cats is wearing a hat that says Thug Life. So they don't really show up really good on the dark background. So I have to be able to try. I'm going to go in and try to take that and invert it so that the Thug Life becomes the dark part, because that's like the lightest part of the shirt was the Thug Life hat.
I got some Thug Life cats over here. For real.
Well, sometimes items like that sell really, really well if you hit the right market. And you're probably closer to Buffalo. You're right near that right market.
No.
No? Rochester, Buffalo, you don't think they'd buy that?
Right, they would. Right.
Yeah, they would.
the vet just made me go see. I only had Maisie, and then the vet made me go get this kitten to help Maisie because she's like got I don't know separation anxiety. When I leave, she just cries and paces and
How long have
crazy.
you had her?
Well, I watch the cameras when I'm not here, so she stopped since I've gotten the kitten. So the vet was right.
How long have you had her?
I've had Maisie. There's Maisie. I've had Maisie for almost 2 years, and this is the new one. If you can see her down there, that's Janice. Maisie's a tortie. Janice is a calico. But she stopped crying. She was annoying the hell out of my son when I was at work.
Dennis Green, I'm not. I'm not a Bills fan at all.
Go Buffalo all day, every day. Can't wait for game season.
Yeah, go
Usually
Jets.
I'm in my hoodie, but I took it off.
Go Jets. They were in my hometown practicing for over a year. They can't play for crap, but let them go anyway. Actually, I think they are. I think they're going back to New Jersey.
For real. Hey, we all got to have a dream.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. Hey, TNT. I appreciate that. All right, well, guys, we've been on for more than an hour. So we have two options here. We can keep going, and I'm going to smoke a cigarette, or we can call it a night. It's up to you. I'm going to smoke a cigarette regardless.
I haven't smoked a cigarette in a week. Look at, I'm just
I
hitting this
see
little,
that. Well, you
this
know,
little thing that's probably going to kill me faster.
I got one of them magical pens right here too, but the problem is it's not the same as what yours has got in it. I'll guarantee it.
This is not mine. This is my goddaughter. She left it on my floor charging and left it here, and now I've yanked it. I didn't make it.
I do have another.
But I didn't go buy a pack of syrup, so.
I do have another one over here. This is called a fume. I don't know if you've seen this before. It pulls apart, and it gets these cartridges that go into it.
Oh wow!
There's nothing.
So it's like it's changeable, refillable.
Yeah, it's totally refillable, and you can get all different flavors. It's not rechargeable, and if you twist it, you can open the end of it up to get more airflow going through it. It's called a fume.
I don't know. I gotta quit. I gotta stop. I'm never going to, but I
bought that because I thought, well, you know, I'm not puffing in the vapors, and I think that'd be a good way to quit. But the same problem with that is you're only breathing in the flavor that comes out from the actual cartridge. I got it right in my hand. You only get the flavor that comes out from the cartridge. The more air you put at it, you know, of course, the stronger it can possibly be or whatever. And I haven't found a flavor they've got that I actually enjoy.
This is banana ice, and I feel like I'm smoking a burnt banana. Like it's unbelievable.
That's funny. I actually just got I actually just got some new oils in yesterday, and one of them is called popsicle, orange creamsicle.
Oh, you mean like essential oils, like the droppers?
Yeah, we do.
I might be able to send you something. I think there's a whole little tote full of oils in that stuff that came out of the storage. I didn't know what they're for. I thought they were for baking, and then somebody told me they're for like potpourri and stuff. You can like put them on stuff.
Yeah, candle, soaps, potpourri. Yeah, I got this orange creamsicle. My mom loves oranges, and I got this orange creamsicle, and I smelled it, and I'm like, oh my god, that smells just like the ice cream used to. It's got the orange. It's got a little hint of vanilla to it, you know, a little sweetness, a little citrus. And I'm like, man, that smells just like an orange creamsicle that we used to eat.
I want some of that orange creamsicle sipping cream that they be sipping on these lives. I went down here by the bridge, and they told me they don't have no sipping cream. So I'm in the wrong area.
Oh, really?
I have to probably go to Henrietta or Rochester or something for it. Not out here.
Yeah, we got it at our local store. They sell it right in the grocery store.
Well, see, they don't sell booze, and they sell beer in Walmart here, but not like out in Nevada. When I'm in Nevada, they sell liquor in Walmart.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was
surprising. That's probably really that's probably
except for it took
buy your booze and your chaser in the same aisle.
For real. But it took me 3 hours, no joke, to get from the property in Nevada from outside Winnemucca inlay all the way to to Winnemucca. I think that's where the Walmart was. It was like 2 hours and 45 minutes to go to Walmart. I'm never going back again. Like, I'm going to take a whole truck and a trailer with me. I don't know how Rachel lives out there. I cannot wait to go magnet fishing. Back to good. Rachel.
There you go.
I cannot wait to go magnet fishing with this girl. We are going to tear it up. But she lives out there near one of those places.
Actually, Greg and Gina, for hoodies, I can do hoodies with the embroidery machine. But I have to warn you, it won't happen anytime soon because I have to go back to school to relearn how to use it. I've got it set up for doing hats, and to be able to change it over to doing shirts and hoodies, I forget how to change it to go from the hat attachment to being back to a regular hoop. So I have to go back to school for that part. Once I get that part out of the way, then yeah, I can do them. And anything like that, it would require the picture to be digitized, like the logo or whatever, to be digitized. And the cost for digitization is anywhere from $10 to $15, depending on what all's invested into it or whatever. And I'm actually working with my digitizer right now to take care of Junk to Gems logo, because once I blow it up, it gets pixelated really bad. So he's going to go in and redo the whole logo for me. And he's like, well, did you want this for embroidery? I says, yeah, make it fit a hat too while you're at it. So he's gonna blow up their logo so that it'll look good on the back of a shirt, be 8 inches wide. But then he's also gonna bring it down to about a 2.5 inch patch looking thing to be able to embroider it onto a hat. So I think that'd be really cool too. Like I say, the embroidery machine's already set up for hats. All I gotta do is tell it what colors, what needles on what color thread, and life goes on from there. So kind of looking forward to that.
I'd be lost.
Well,
Do you know how to use a sewing machine?
I do, but I got one that doesn't work. Brand new.
I have. Well,
Walmart.
there's a little one right there, and there's a big brother right there on the floor in the box. There's a little tiny one, like a foot wide over there. I don't know how to use a sewing machine.
You don't know how to use a sewing machine?
I skipped home ec class. I was outside.
Oh, I didn't. I was making flags and shirts and all kinds of stuff in that class. Actually, I made
pillows for a little bit, and then I quit going.
I made a bunch of band banners when I was in home ec class. Actually, they were doing this thing where you had to put wax onto a material, and then you dye around the wax, and then heat the wax back up, and get it back out of the material or whatever, and then you could go back in and wax the colors you did, and put a different color in the middle. I was actually doing that process and making band banners and selling them to the local bands while I was in class.
How do you get the wax out of the material?
You got to heat it up. Put it over a steam pot.
And it just comes off?
Huh?
And it just comes off?
Yeah, it remelts and comes out of the material.
I've always wanted to learn how to tie-dye, too. I don't know how to do that either. I wish one of those would fall in my lap, a tie-dye kit.
I actually bought my girlfriend one and gave her a bunch of T-shirts, and she hasn't even touched it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I found a glow-in-the-dark finger painting kit. That's in that box.
Well, what was going on is we were doing these local shows. It was called the Country Corners. Country Corners Swap and Shop, T2S2, and we didn't have to pay for our site. We got electricity so we could run our heat presses and our vinyl plotters and all that stuff there, because they're good friends of mine. And there was a booth that was doing tie-dyed T-shirts, and they were selling them things for $25 a piece. So I told my girlfriend, I said, here's a bunch of shirts. These are all white shirts. They'll tie-dye awesome. And here's a whole tie-dye kit with rubber bands and all of it. Go tie-dye some T-shirts. We'll make more money on them. I'm selling these things without anything on them for $4 a piece. If I can get $20 out of them for tie-dyeing them, I'll undercut that guy by big time, and get rid of all of mine first. But she didn't want to learn how to do it.
That's cool. I just want to do my own, personally.
Same thing with
crazy sit on the shirts and then tie-dye them and wear them around.
Down in my basement, I actually have a whole art studio set up down there with acrylic paints and all kinds of canvases and brushes and all kinds of stuff that I've been wanting to do. She was getting jealous of me doing that. getting that set up, and I was like, well, here. So I went out and I got her a really nice big paint by number with the acrylics and stuff and the brushes and all that stuff as a kit. It still sits in the box. You got jealous because I was setting it up down there, but now I'm ready to do it, and you aren't even ready to try it.
My oldest daughter is the painter. She's pretty good, but she don't do that no more. Now she's in the big world of finances.
I got hooked up. I went down the rabbit hole. Actually, YouTube's a really good rabbit hole. If you want to get into learning how to paint, there's quite a few of them on there that do it.
YouTube is a rabbit hole.
It's a rabbit hole from heck.
I fell in so many times where I couldn't get back out. I missed days. They'll call me like, why aren't you at work today? And be like, because I'm not coming because
I just went to bed.
No, because DIY Ifferent, that whatever show, he's remodeling a trailer. He's right up my alley. He's doing a trailer. It's 10 years newer than mine. So the minute he started tearing that shit, like, I was hooked. I went back and watched every video for like, dude, I could not stop watching.
All right, now if you really want to watch stuff like that, another good channel to watch is Sam Craft. What are they calling it? Him and his wife. Sam Craft is his channel, and him and his wife have a channel together. And then his wife also has her own channel. She makes
SAM.
SAM Crafts, all one word.
Got you.
He might link to the Homestead on that. They rebuilt their trailer, and they did an awesome job on that. They show tools special for doing stuff like that I was so impressed with. I went out and bought the tools.
Right.
You know, I'm
still gonna remodel this, and then if he don't keep it, because when we were at the hotel, he just applied for an apartment, so he may be getting his own apartment. If he don't keep it, I don't know about having a tenant while I'm out of state. That'd be real bad. So I might just let it sit here empty or put it up for sale at some point. I don't know.
I don't think I would do absentee landlord.
No, I did that from just a town over when I was in the building agency. And look, they trashed the place. This was crazy. And it took me forever to get them out. They didn't pay no rent in COVID. And then the cops told me I had no rights. I owned the place and I had no rights.
Okay, Lori Larkin just hit that right on the end. It's Green Acres Homestead.
Oh, I got you. Thank you, Lori.
Yeah, Green Acres Homestead. They put out a lot of videos of remodeling their trailer. I mean, they got a lot of cool videos. He just built a 32 by 20 shop. I think it's 32 by 20. That's a nice shop. It's a huge shop. It's his what you call it, the laser area. And I'm impressed with that shop.
I will definitely check it out.
It makes my 3-bay garage wood shop look small.
Yo, I don't even have a garage.
Because it's clean, you know what I'm saying?
I don't even have a garage, bro.
If I had that 20 by 32 area with nothing else in it, I could have my wood shop set up and running right now. But I'm a collector.
I wish I had a wood shop. Then I'd never leave there either.
Well, my thing is that
maybe I'll build one in Archie.
I see new tools available, and I'm like, oh, that makes sense. You know, like with Sam Craft. Sam actually came out with this multi-tool, 4-tooth tool. You stick this thing into your outlet, you put your sheetrock where you want it, and you just take this piece and you run it across, and it locks to the magnet on the backside to show you where your outlet is. And then you just take this tool and it fits inside of it, and you just cut through the sheetrock, and it's a guaranteed fit every time. And I watched that, and I'm like, well, I got to have that.
I cheat. I use the chalk. You know the chalk you snap your line with?
Yeah.
I'll put my outlet up. I'll put chalk all over the outside of the outlet. Then I'll put my drywall up against it. It shows me where it prints, and that's what I cut out, and I put it back on.
There you go.
I cheat like a...
I like his idea better, but okay, that works.
Then again, look how much drywall I got going on over here.
Yeah, well, hey.
I got a hole in the wall right now. I just opened. I can't figure out why the wire is not working on that side, so I opened the whole thing up. So now I gotta redo another part.
Yeah, but you know, I mean, when it's all done, it's done.
I don't know where I learned that. I think I learned that in my teens. I was working for somebody back when I was in my 20s, and they taught me that outlet trick. Can't remember who.
Also, there's another thing they say about that too. It can be a half inch off. It doesn't matter how bad of a carpenter you are. It just matters how good you are at clocking things in.
Right. Right.
Or as I used to tell my boss, doesn't matter how dirty it is, I can make it look clean with paint.
I don't know about that.
I was going in and painting all the baseboards at our plant with baking soda dust on them and stuff. I never wiped them down. I never washed them off. I just went in with a paintbrush and repainted the color over top of it. He came out one day and he's going, man, he says, you make that look so good and so easy. And I was like, well, everything looks good when it's been painted fresh. It doesn't matter what it is. He says, yeah, but you just make it look so easy. I says, yeah, I know. I'm kind of the laughing stock around the plant because I can draw a straight line. Nobody else can. They'd have paint on the floor. They'd have paint on the wall where it didn't belong. I could just go in, trim out a room, no problem at all. I used to do it all the time.
I disagree because these people painted this whole living room and they painted the beams, which I'm very pissed about. They painted all the wooden beams white and they're half shit ass painted.
Oh.
They're like ugly. It's bad up there. Like, I'll show you. Walk over here if you can see. See that corner?
Yep.
Like the big head.
Yep.
It's badly painted. They painted all white all over this, but look at their patch. I'll show you their patch job. That's their drywall patch job. And they have a hole above it. They just patched it. And then their seam job. Their seam job's got me twisted.
What was that, a Band-Aid?
Look at that. It's all the way down the wall. They did not, like...
Yeah. Did they even use tape?
No, it's crazy what they did.
Hey, I'll give you a hint. On those beams, like
at least they tried to patch some of it because a lot of tenants will just break your shit and up and go, but they did owe me a lot of money, so fuck them.
I'll give you a hint. Like that beam over your head by the kitchen there.
There's 4 of them. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Over my head.
Spray a spot with Windex and let it set for a little bit and hit it with a paper towel and just see if the paint will wipe off of it.
I will try that.
Because you might be able to take it right back to the original, like it's not real wood, it's vinyl wood, but you might be able to take it back to the original wood look.
Right. Todd, one of the workers were here earlier telling me to repaint them brown. I'm like, no, I'm not. Like, that's just dumb.
Is it a texture?
And it has 2 nice beams in each corner too. Like, so I don't know what I get to take that off, but it's done deal. They've already done it,
Yeah,
I don't want to put more money in here.
When I did our last trailer, I went in and I painted the living room kind of a smoke gray. And the landlord was like, wow, he says, I really don't like that color. And I said, but the kitchen's bright yellow.
Oh, I like the gray.
I like he said, but what about where the 2 colors meet? And I said, well, I'm going to take a piece of wood and I'm going to paint it bright white and I'm going to put it right down through to cover up the seam. He's going, oh, okay. And he's like, yeah, but I just don't like this much gray. And I says, neither do I. I'm going to be changing it. Just hang out. And we ended up going in with the melanite beadboard or masonry beadboard and putting in wainscoting all the way around 32 inches tall with a nice baseboard and a nice cherry rail across the top of it. And it really set that place off. I mean, it made it look so much better.
I'm going to show you, but I made chicken wing dip, I don't know if you can see it. I see the wall.
I see part of it. Looks like I see some screw holes.
It was gray. And then they painted white. It looks like they painted it gray, but did not go all the way down to the bottom.
Oh.
And then painted it white over top. I don't know. I did this, though. You know how you go get the little spray foam?
Yep.
I thought it was the little spray foam. No, it was the giant Gap spray foam that came out at me like, oh, my God.
All right. Well, wait. I'll give you another tip on that stuff, too. When you do that and it's sticking out like that, don't just go up there with a steak knife or whatever and cut it flush. Because if it's not cured on the inside, it'll grow again and again.
Oh, that thing's hard as a rock. I'm worried about cutting it. That's why it's still up there.
Yeah, if it's been there for like maybe 2 weeks, it'll be all right. I actually had a spot here where the dryer vent went out the front of the house and they just covered it up with carpet. And it was like the worst carpet in the house. So I tore that out because that was going to become their temporary seed room. I tore that carpet out and here's this big gaping hole. So I went and I bought spray foam and I just kind of filled the hole up a little bit with it and just called it good enough. I come back to the trailer or to the house about 2 days later, and I'm tapping on, just going, oh yeah, this is nice and dry. So I got the steak knife out and I cut it all nice and flush to where it needed to be. And I left again because I wasn't doing anything else at the house at the time. I went and bought all the flooring and stuff I was putting in that room. We came back the next day. I had this thing sticking out of my wall. I bet it was about 2 feet long and probably 5 or 6 inches in diameter, just sticking up out of that hole, the floor where I cut it, and it just got air. And it says, okay, we can expand again. And it just expanded like crazy. And I'm like, oh my God, it was worse than the first time.
Yeah, well, I learned my lesson that there's a difference between the red can and the black can.
Yeah, well, you can get one that's a high expand, and you can get a low expanding foam too.
Yeah, I got to go back.
We used the low expanding foam when we did the window at the end of my hallway down here.
Yeah, I got to go back and get some. I got to still do around the sliding glass door I put in. I don't know, man. I'm ready to go. I mean, I don't want to put another $1 into this place. I just put $2,000 into the plumbing. Just the pressure tank, hot water tank, the PEX piping, all of it. Oh my God, plus the fittings. Did I tell you what happened when I came back? Came back from the hotel, turned the breaker on, whole freaking house flooded because all those little tiny PEX rings are junk. So I had to take every single ring off and go get shark bite for everything. And then that was outrageous.
Oh yeah.
I think it was $350 just for the shark bite fittings, just to put the water back together.
Yeah, they're expensive fittings.
Dennis that moves now. This trailer will flood.
Dennis Green, try doing yahoo.com/@horsearoundfarms. All is one word rather than leaving spaces between it. And that should be able to bring up the channel.
My channel?
Yeah, the one you're on right now.
No, I'm on Natasha Lynn.
You're on Natasha Lynn?
Mm-hmm. My son operates Horse Around Farms, but you're welcome to add it if you want. He'd love that.
Okay, so
he literally sat here one day subscribing to almost 1,000 channels, and only 30 people subscribed back to him, and he was like in his misery.
Dennis, try Natasha Lynn. Tasha, can you put the link up?
I'm not even in chat. I can't see nothing in chat. I haven't seen anything since I came in here.
I'm gonna say probably she can't. Let me see if I can.
I can jump out.
Oh, you're all right.
I just wanted to make sure I came on. I know I've been telling you for weeks I was going to try to get home and then try to get there after league. And then I was like, oh, no, I'm going home today. I'll make sure I hit Moffat. And then I was late. I was outside with the dog. That windstorm we got tore off the entire top of the 10 by 10 dog kennel. So I went to Tractor Supply and I threw a tantrum and said, how the fuck is an $899 kennel lose the top? She told me I can pay $200 right now and it's on sale for $148 online if I want to go online to replace it. Why should I have to replace it when it's not even 6 months old? When I paid $900.
Wow. That's terrible.
She literally told me, she was like, oh, well, you can go on sale. It's $148 now. Like, I don't want to pay you $2. I don't want to pay you $1. I don't want to pay you $5.
Right.
And that thing ripped the crap. I would not buy that dog kennel by Retriever from Tractor Supply. Is a joke. For real.
I bought a really nice canopy to go over top of our camper. It's kind of like a big carport. And I'll be honest with you, it was held down with 30-pound sandbags on all four corners. It was staked to the ground on all four corners, plus the 2 center posts on each side. That wind got a hold of that thing. The first thing it did is rip the handles off the sandbags, pull up all those stakes, throw it out into the woods, and rip the top. And I'm like, are you serious? That was the first month I had it up.
Yeah, see, no, I'm not playing all that.
I was like, okay, well, I got it sitting in my yard now, and all the poles are bent, and this and that. And I'm like, boy, I don't know. I could probably put it back together,
I'm going to go to Ollie's.
I've got to
go to Ollie's and get one of those really heavy duty ones. And if that don't work, I don't know what.
Well, see, the problem was that for me, I didn't want anything permanent like Mike and Lissa got, or like.
The metal. I want that. I would love that, but I put sides on it.
I do, but not for here.
Yeah, not for. No,
if I add it to my land here, then it makes it so I have inaccessibility to a lot of the things I need to have access to. So, because I'm out of space, basically, I got a chicken coop, the house, the seed house, a wood shed, a little bit of a driveway between that and my garage, and then just parking all in the front. And then behind the garage was the camper and my boat, and, my wood pile. And
Do you have any fertile hatching eggs?
I don't have any chickens at all right now, believe it or not, because
I don't. Remember, I lost mine last year with that buffalo storm that killed all those people. So, but I have the incubators out. I'm ready. I just got to get some eggs.
I lost mine to a Fisher cat twice.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
I had to Google what a Fisher cat was.
They are nasty.
For real.
They're nasty. We had them in McLean when I lived out there. And I told the landlord, I said, well, here's my deal. I'm not walking the woods without having a gun with me. Just because of that and a couple other items that were out there. I said, if we go walking in the gravel yard out behind the house or whatever, I'm going fully loaded. I don't care.
You sound like David from Come On the other day. You see him touring his 10 acres. He's like, I got the pew pew because it's a new 10 acres. He's loaded.
Yeah. Well, look at Gary and Mel from SLR. Gary just got his new one.
Oh, yeah.
That's a nice one, too.
I'm going bow hunting. That's my next project.
I actually have a, it's called a tactical crossbow. It takes six darts at a time in a cartridge.
That's what I'm looking for is a crossbow.
And then you pull the arm down, you pull it back, shoot the bolt. Pull the arm down, pull it back, shoot the bolt. You can do that 6 times. And I've still got it sitting in the case. I've shot it up one time, never shot it. The bolts are expensive as crap because they're not full-length bolts, they're short bolts. But, it's called a tactical crossbow. It was very expensive. But I seen that.
I want one like Daryl has on Walking Dead.
Huh?
I want one like Daryl has on Walking Dead.
I don't watch Walking Dead.
This character, my son does, and this character, Daryl, has this badass crossbow. Like, now I'm like, I want one.
I had a full-size crossbow, and I didn't like it because it took too much for me to pull it. It was like a 100-pound pull. I'm only 125 pounds.
Yeah. I don't like the one I got at Walmart. That's how it feels to me. It hurts my shoulder and my arm. I don't like it at all.
Well, it hurt me just to be able to cock it. And right after I cocked it, I learned that, hey, well, once you cock it, guess what? You got to shoot it. And I was like, you can't uncock it? And they're going, no, you got to put a bolt in it and you got to pull the trigger. And I was like, all right, great. So I went and got a bolt out of the package, brand new, no head on it or nothing. And it doesn't have a head on it. There's no point. There's no broadhead or anything like that. So I shot from where our trailer was down to where my wood shop was. And I had this really, really big metal saw that had like an inch circle in the center of it for the arbor for the saw. And I aimed for that. Of course, I had a scope on it too. So I aimed for the center of that circle. I hit the center of the circle. It slid over, it hit the blade. Just as I hit that blade, a kid was behind me. He said, man, awesome shot. Scared the shit out of me because I didn't know anybody was watching me. And I was probably a week looking for that bolt, trying to figure out where the heck it went. I had everybody walking the yard looking for that bolt. I finally found it, and it was totally trashed. And I was like, well, didn't hurt the door any, didn't hurt the saw blade any, so I don't care. I'm going to let that one ride. Yeah, it was a powerful bow. But it took so much to pull it back. And I decided after I did it the first time, I didn't want to have to do it again. So I found a friend of mine that was looking for a crossbow for his kid. And I said, all right, I'll make a deal with you. Take the crossbow home. Let the kid check it out. And if he can shoot it, I'll sell it to you for $75. And he came back the next day with $100. He says, this is from my son. And I was like, why you give me 100? I told you it was 75. He says, you said if he could shoot it, he could have it for 75. Well, he decided he's giving you 100 because not only could he shoot it, but he just put dinner on the table. He took a 14-point buck on the first day of bow season with it. And I was like, Holy crap. Okay, cool. That was cool. So I kept his $100.
I got some deer meat in the freezer. I want to make jerky, but I don't have a dehydrator.
I wish I had deer meat in the refrigerator. Everybody keeps telling me they're going to give me some, and I don't have any venison at all.
Well, man, come scoop me. I got you. I didn't go hunting this year. Somebody hit one out front and it fell in my yard, and I made the sheriff tag it for me.
There you go. There you go.
Yep. They were all arguing over whose it was, and we took care of that real quick.
It's fine.
My yard, my van. It's in my yard.
I actually got wrapped up one time. There was a deer on Route 281. We have like a waterworks on one side, and there was a fence on the other side. So yeah, 2 8-foot fences on each side of the road to keep the deer off the road in that section. And this deer ended up between those two fences, and they kept crossing the road and crossing the road and crossing the road. And this one guy's car actually hit the deer. So I told him, I says, look, I'm going to stay here with my yellow light on. You go down to the next place where you got a telephone available, call the sheriff's department, tell them where I'm at, and send them out here because I can't contain this deer to keep it on one side of the road or the other. So I had my yellow flashing light up on top going, and I had my four-way flashers, and I was parked right between the two lanes. So anybody wanted to go by me, they had to go off the road and come back onto it. That way I could slow them really, really well down because this deer kept going back and forth across that freaking road. Yeah, it's a 50-mile speed zone area. And nobody pays attention for deer in that area because you got fences on each side. There aren't supposed to be any. And the sheriff shows up. And he says, if I shoot this deer, can I put it in the back of your vehicle?
Yeah.
I told him.
You can shoot them all and put them in.
I told him, well, it all depends. I says, where's my vehicle got to go when you shoot that deer and put the deer in the back of it? Because if I got to haul the deer somewhere for you, I'm not going to be overly happy if I have to do that for free. And he says, no, I want to put it in the back of your vehicle. You've been out here longer than anybody else, and I'll let you take it home. Oh, all right. Yeah, sure. No problem. He pulled his pistol out to shoot this deer probably 5 different times. And every time he got ready to pull the trigger, another car would go around mine and his, and he'd freak out and put his gun back in his holster. I was like, man, come on, dude, just shoot it. It's not that freaking hard. You're not shooting at the traffic. We're on the same side of the road the deer's on. You're pointing it away from the road. So he finally pulls his gun out again. He goes to shoot the deer, and I'll be damned if that deer didn't jump over that 8-foot fence and back into the waterworks.
Oh my.
Oh, man, you just threw my dinner over the fence.
For real. I'd be giving him a citation.
I know.
For real.
You're too afraid to pull the trigger, and you're not even pointing towards the traffic.
I've had a DC come out once or twice for raccoons, but like nothing really major.
I've seen so many things happen. You know, I'm the kind of guy where if I see something going on, I'm always like paying attention to whatever. I was driving down one of our local city roads one day, and I seen this black guy, and he was just hauling ass down the sidewalk, running like crazy and looking behind him. So I sat at the intersection waiting to see who was chasing him or whatever. And I looked back, and there's one of the Cortland Police Department officers. And he's running down the sidewalk trying to catch up with this black guy. I'm driving a 1-ton van. So I drove down the road, passed the black guy. I pulled into a parking lot, and I just stopped on the brake, stopped it right there where the sidewalk was crossing, put it in the park, got out of the van, walked around to the backside. That black guy, he's running like this, looking down the road. He ran right inside of my van, fell down. I walked over, put my hands on his shoulders, and said, don't get up. Finally, that city cop finally called up, and he's like, thank you. I was like, you weren't going to catch him. You weren't going to catch him. He was out doing you two steps to one. And he was like, yeah, that was pretty special. I says, I know it was pretty special. I was just watching that one. I stopped at the last intersection looking at you guys running down the street, knowing you wasn't going to get him if you didn't get a little assistance. So I pulled my van right in front of him, stopped, and just got out, waited for him to fall down, and then reached over and put my hands on his shoulders and don't move. I've done stuff like that before.
We just had an old man drive through a cafe on Main Street, right almost next to the famous pizza shop, And then we had a college girl drunk at 11 o'clock in the afternoon, drove through the house on the corner across from the courthouse, right through the porch into the thing. It was literally like 10:30 in the morning. It was nuts.
Wow.
The old guy, it was an accident. He like hit his accelerator instead of hitting reverse and went through the shop window. He was already parked on Main Street.
We had one right here in my local town now. I laughed about because a guy was drunk. He thought the cops were following him, but it was the fire department behind him because it was a blue light. Apparently he wasn't from the area, but he was drunk. And he seen the blue light come on for the fire police coming up over the hill behind him. And he was all scared and shit, so he stepped on it to get out of the area. And he run into this house and took the porch off the front of the house. The house he ran into was owned by the head of our sheriff's department.
Oh no!
You want to talk about a bad way to go to jail?
I'd be gone. I'd be gone. They'd have to come find me hiding in the woods somewhere.
After that sheriff, his house he was out there. He had his gun drawn and his handcuffs in his hand. Handcuffed the guy. Called the department, told him to send a car out to pick the guy up because he couldn't move his car out of the driveway because this guy's car took the whole porch right off the house to cover his whole driveway up. And then all the fire trucks go by, and the drunk guy looks at him and says, "Oh my God," he says, "I screwed up." The guy watches him and says, "You sure did?" And he says, "No, really." He says, "I thought that was a cop behind me, and it was a fireman." Cop's like, "That's okay. You're drunk. I understand." Yeah, he's like the head of the sheriff's department. That's funny to know.
Oh no.
I know the insurance company paid for it because he's got a whole wraparound porch now instead of just the same little one he had before.
Oh, I bet the house across from the courthouse is about to get a major upgrade. That's RLK. It's a what are they? The women's lacrosse team.
Okay.
Yeah, they ain't got no porch or a wall from the living room.
Welcome to our drive-through.
Yo, I'm gonna send you that video. My brother posted on Facebook. He walked all the way down there to record it, and he's hilarious as the commentator. Oh my God.
Yeah, do that.
It's something else. You wouldn't believe it. He did the other one too because he lives right above where the old man hit the shop. But he thinks he's like a news reporter now.
Well, hey, if he's got a good sense of humor and he does reporting like that, that's all we need to have around right now.
Oh my God, he's funny as shit. He never shuts up though. I was just gonna say it runs in the family.
Oops.
Yeah.
Dennis Green, I'm sure you could. And you know what? At the top of every one of my lives, there's a link where you can join in like Katasha just did. All you got to have is a camera and a microphone set up or do it on your phone. If you want to click on that link and come join me, you can come in and tell your craziest stories because I'll be honest with you.
Mine was still saved. All that info, whatever's typed, that was all saved from when we did that 6-hour live. Remember, Brett fell asleep in his chair.
Yeah, and his wife had to wake him up to shut the camera off.
Right. Everyone's about to kill his ass. He was drunk, mumbling just random shit, just passing out. It was great. It was like one of my favorite nights, yo.
And we kept people entertained for quite a while on that one.
Oh my goodness. He is too much. Brett is just so fun. He keeps telling me all the time, I got 2 acres. I got 2 acres. I'm like, I don't want 2 acres. Well,
right? What am I going to do with 2 acres?
All right. I have 15.7 here. I don't know what I would do with 2. Well, I don't use the back half. I don't know. I'm only using 5 acres. And I don't know what I would do with myself with less than 5 acres. No.
I'm thinking I want 4 to 6. But, if Gary and Mary come through with that deal, I'd be happy to take 10.
10's the process.
Yeah. And
work on, use 3 or 4 or 6, whatever you want, and leave the rest wooded or.
Right. I sent you a comment on one of your Facebook posts too of who the fourth party was on that.
Oh yeah, I'll find it when I go on. I haven't been on Facebook yet tonight. I got a couple exes stalking me. For
My
real.
my main thing with Facebook is trying to keep up with the guy that owes me money.
Yeah, I got a few of those too. I got a
I
bunch
post,
of those. I
I
sold some
post,
air conditioners this summer and I still haven't been paid for them. And we're about to go into summer. And you know who they're going to hit up for air conditioners again? I'm going to be like, yo,
I post YouTube videos to Facebook all the time, but I'm not always on Facebook. But Facebook is normally open because it's easier. You know, some days I'll post 4 or 5 different YouTube videos and links to them or whatever on Facebook with my own little commentary or whatever. So I normally leave Facebook open, but just because it's open doesn't mean I'm actually there.
yeah, I've posted your Dollar Seed to Horse Around Farms pages a few times.
I spend
Yeah.
probably 90% of my time when I'm not doing anything else just watching YouTube videos, trying to keep
Yeah,
up with the whole family and everything. Because
that's
there's
me
so
all
many,
day long.
yeah, there's so many channels and so much going on. You know,
Grandpa just got me this little earpiece where I can click it and it's like it's Bluetooth to the phone microphone because I will run around and yell at everybody all day long like get off your phones, you're working, get off your phone. And then I am constantly on my phone all day listening to it. So now I can listen to my ear like a podcast. Like I just listened to Drew and Bobblehead's video when I was at work and nobody even knew I was watching. Nobody even knew.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then I still get home and want to see what the hell they were talking about in the video. You know what I mean? Then I got to go back and rewatch it. So,
Tracy, TNT Adventures, I'll be honest with you, you know what I really hate is when you think you're a friend of somebody, but then they send you another friend request and you say, yeah, man, I know this person. And you click on it and they're always going, oh, did you hear about this program? Okay, never mind, your spam block. I've done that 3 or 4 times just in the last probably 2 weeks.
You see that girl that was tagging me in those damn health gummies?
Yeah.
Get these health gummies. And then she told you could lose weight, bro. Yo, I about died when she started talking to you. It took me forever to get her off my page. Oh my God.
I was like, why are you asking me to lose weight? I want to gain it. I don't want to lose it. Holy crap.
For me too, for real.
I'm 128 pounds and I need to gain weight. I used to be 150 when I got out of the Army.
That's what I am now.
150?
152. I just went to the doctor. She said I'm 152. But I was fighting cancer. I'm cancer free. Oh yeah, I'm cancer free. I have to go for a 6-month recheck and I'm good. I was really small one time. When I was really sick, I was down to like 92 pounds, 94 pounds.
Well, how tall are you?
5'6".
Same mine. Okay.
So, not too bad. I'm not doing too shabby. You know, what she actually told me is alcohol has a lot of calories in it. That's what the doctor told me.
I can say, no, that's not true. Hi, Sheila Tubbs. We were talking about you earlier.
Yeah.
You got me an awful lot of onions.
Definitely not true.
No, it's not true. I mean, I drink light beer, but not because I'm trying to lose calories. It's just because the other stuff really took me out.
I can't believe you said light beer.
It's not Bud Light.
Well, hey, I don't mind the whole Bud Light thing. Who knows? People are weird.
Yeah, Sheila. We were talking about them onion thoughts earlier. My Lord, you sent me an awful lot of them. I've got 18 planted in my grow room right now to get them started. And then tomorrow it's supposed to be like 60 degrees, so I'm going to go out and probably put another 20 or 30 in my garden bed. And then Monday, when my employees come back, I'm sending them home with the rest of them to plant in their garden.
What did she send you? I can't see it.
Onion thoughts.
Ooh. I'm doing it by seed.
No, it's onion thoughts, and that's a lot of them. They already got the greens growing out the tops of them and stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of them.
Wow.
Like, if you let, you know, when you let an onion go to seed, if you don't take the top off the heavy stalk, it'll flower out. Well, that flower will actually turn into a whole cluster of onion thoughts. But she sent me the tops to about probably 15 or 20 of them flowers.
Oh, see, I've never let them go that far. I should do that this year. I just chop everything down.
I've actually done it with garlic. And everybody says, no, you get small bulbs of garlic. And I'm like, yeah, I'll deal with the small bulbs of garlic this year. I'll pull them up, I'll transplant them, they'll get bigger next year, and I won't let them go to seed again. But by George, I'll tell you what, those seeds actually grow new garlic.
Well, damn, Sheila, let's swap. I got too much seeds here right now. I'm supposed to be doing this whole organic farmers market gardens bull crap. I'm not gonna make it. I got too much to do before we leave.
I actually been walking around my property a lot this last summer because I was out of work, so I've been like bored a lot. And nice days out, I just go out and stroll around the yard. I found 3 different patches of garlic and 3 different patches of wild horseradish. And I'm like,
you ever get wild onions in your yard?
No.
The green things? I think they're onion. I don't know.
No, you mean like the chives?
Maybe. They're all over out back. It's more towards like the farmer's land. I don't know what they are. And then I see things that look like carrot. You know how the top of carrots looks? I see them all over, and I think
That's
like we have
carrot.
carrots growing rapidly.
That's wild carrot. You don't want to eat that one. Those are nasty.
I was wondering at one time if I could feed it to the chickens and the goats and shit.
Right. Natasha can't really see chat or respond. So Natasha, Sheila Tubbs says she can send you some.
What do you want, Sheila?
She just needs your address.
What do you want? We got everything. My address is public. Horse Round Farms is a public place. We're open on Sundays from 5 to 8:30. We have a potluck bull crap out front when it's warm. People bring food. They also set the picnic tables, and that's the only time we're ever open. So I don't like dealing with everybody. They write me enough. Like I just had a message the other day. Do you want a pig? Do you want to, it was an animal rescue, and then I shut it down. We were a rooster rescue. I don't know how we ended up with everything. Goats, dogs, you name it. They brought me a pigeon once. Like, I don't know how to take care of a pigeon. I had to call a rehabber.
I actually had a horse rehab place set up as one of my camps before I started getting back around everybody and doing whatnot.
Yeah, my daughters have horses. It's awful. The cost is crazy.
Well, crazy. We had an issue where there was a tractor trailer full of horses in the back of it that was going down 81. And it was in really bad disrepair. And somebody called it in as there were horse hooves hanging out the bottom of this trailer. And the state troopers went up, pulled the trailer over, and I think it was 16 horses that were in the back of it. And they were looking for somebody to take those 16 horses. And I had 14 acres. I said, yeah. I said, I'll put up the horses. I don't have a problem with that. I'm like, but you don't have shelter for them. I said, they don't need shelter. They need.
You won't have any grass left by morning.
Yeah. Well, no, I had fields, but I was like, they just need food and a place to roam and heal is all they need. And then after that, they're good to go. I said, how long do you want me to do this for? And what are we going to do with them afterwards? And they said, well, the best thing that you can do right now is just get the horses back to health. And then we'll let the judge decide what happens to the horses in the future. And I'm like, but that comes to an expense to me.
God.
That's a big expense, A lot of people don't understand it. When we had our ranches, for a person to board a horse, it was $375 a month to board your horse at our ranch. That included the feed, the hay, and everything else. But we also required people, if you were going to board your horse at our farm, you had to visit that horse at least once a week, a minimum. And if they ignored the horse and they didn't pay their bills, then we would take the horse.
Yeah, Lee's Farm in Geneseo has a problem with that. People board their horses and don't come back, don't visit, don't bring treats, don't bring their kids like they say they're gonna.
Yep.
And then they leave them.
And then
eventually they stop paying. They just abandon them.
Yeah, they stop paying the boarding fees because they realize how expensive it gets after a short time, and that's what you end up with. We did that at our ranch. That's actually how I ended up with my horse Tank. Was somebody put him in as a boarder, and never ridden. I had one of our ranch guys go out and break the horse, but he didn't like being rode for one, and he was stubborn. So that's how he got his name Tank. So I took his reins. I said, I want this one. And my partners were like, why? And I said, because I want to ride Tank. And they're like, well, Tank's wild. And I said, no, Tank's not wild. I had Mike out working with Tank. Mike's been working with Tank. I think I can ride Tank. So I got on Tank and we went on a horse ride. And of course, Tank always was the last one in the lineup going up the mountains over in the Catskills. And if every other horse in front of him would start walking around the corner, he'd stop. He'd just watch them walk around the corner and look through the woods and go, okay, well, they're over there now. And then he'd turn and he'd roll through the woods. As long as he fit through the trees, that's all that mattered. It didn't matter if your legs were hanging down beside him or anything else, or you're going to end up falling off the horse. He would straight beeline right up to where the rest of the horses were. And then he'd stop and he'd watch them go around the next corner up the mountain and he'd do the same thing. Well, we got up the top of the mountain one day and he stood at the top of the hill watching all the horses going back down around all these S-curves and stuff to get back down to the barn. And he just stood there, and I was like, Tank, come on, man, get moving. Once the last horse went in the barn, we went straight down that hill. I was laying flat back on the saddle with my feet wrapped around his front neck, holding on to the reins going, slow, Tank, slow, Tank. And he ran all the way down that hill till he got to the creek, stopped at the creek where I kind of come up off the horse and landed in the water. He got a couple of drinks of water, and then he looked at me like, oh, that was fun. I walked in the rest of the way in the barn, took his saddle off and stuff, and Jesse's like, you never rode a horse down a hill? And I says, I didn't. The horse ran me.
Well, they will, too.
Oh, if they want to go, they got to go. And he was stubborn, boy. He was a stubborn boy. But
my youngest daughter has my oldest daughter's baby. So my oldest daughter owned an Arabian horse named Destiny, and she had a baby named Taipei. And my youngest daughter, Kayla, wanted to keep the baby, but the baby would like kick at her, and it just was not having it. She had to have a trainer come out every Saturday. And we used to pay this guy, and he would literally stand in the middle of the field and just stand there with his head down for like an hour and a half, and that was the training so the horse could get used to him, and he'd come do that every week. And I was like, what am I paying this guy for?
Yeah.
Then they explained it to me.
Walk him around in circles.
Yeah, well, after a while they did. When they finally got a halter, but it took a while. But they are stubborn. Like, I was worried she was going to get hurt.
We had a Mustang that was at our ranch that was abandoned, and
I've seen them in Nevada, like running through the field.
Yeah, it had never been ridden. The kid that owned it, her parents just gave up on the horse. They never came out and visited it or anything. And I said to Mike, one of our wranglers, I said, Mike, why don't you take that Mustang out there and see if you can break it a little bit? He went out and he rode that horse bareback. And I'll tell you what, I mean, this guy's got a lot of Indian in him. His wife was pure Indian. He got on the back of that horse, and our paddocks were like, here's a level, and then it would drop down a level, and then it would drop down another level, and there was a gate at the end. That horse never dropped on any of those levels. It just went in a straight beeline all the way down to the gate to the other end. He turned it around, he brought it all the way back up. No halter, no bit, no saddle, no nothing. Just bareback that thing all the way down. And I was like, dude, and he's like, he got off the horse. He's petting the horse. Oh, good boy, good boy, good boy. And I was like, dude, you know what? Let me go talk to Jesse, my partner, real quick, because I think you're going to end up with your own horse right here. And I went in to Jesse. Mike just rode that wild Mustang all the way down to the gate and back. And that horse was so calm and collective with him, and he rode it bareback. Can we give him the horse? And Jesse's like, well, Jesus, yeah, nobody else is going to be able to do it. We tried putting a saddle on it one day, and I'll tell you what, you want to talk about a bunking Bronco. Oh, my God, that thing was terrible. It didn't want no part of
just get him out of here.
It didn't want no part of a saddle. It didn't want no part of a bit. It didn't want nothing. But, boy, you get on his bareback and you ride him just holding on to the mane. That horse behaved Mike so well, it was like, okay, we're good.
Now, I'm good on visiting horses, but I don't ever want to have any horses on the property again. Nope. My daughter can keep that bill. I'm done with that.
Boy, here's a funny story. At our ranch, the guy that lived next door, kind of on the other part of the mountain, it wasn't really next door, but there was a diner next door. That was a bad issue for us. But on the other side of that diner, on the other side of the mountain, there was a guy that lived over there, and for some reason, he parked his wood chipper right on our horse trail. And we were out giving people horse rides from New York City. They come up to Catskills all the time for these like $25, half hour or whatever horse rides. And one of the horses had this girl on it, and it seen that wood chipper. And of course, they got the wood chipper spout sticking out like this. It looked like a freaking dinosaur sticking out of the woods. That horse come around the corner, got one glimpse of that, and went right straight up on all back legs, straight up into the air, screaming like crazy. And that girl was holding onto that saddle and onto the reins. She's just like, I got it, I got it, I got it. And our wrangler Mike walked up with his horse and grabbed that horse by the rein and pulled him back down. And that girl was like, I had him. It's like, yeah, I don't think so. Mike had to hold on to that horse to get past that wood chip in order to be able to go the rest of the way up the mountain. And don't you know, on the way back down, the horse did the same thing when it seen it again. It's like, oh, there's that dinosaur again. It was funny.
I'm getting pushed off my couch.
We actually, next to our horse ranch, we actually had a diner. And behind the diner was a dumpster. And the bears would come down out of the woods at night, and they'd get into that dumpster, and they'd scatter the trash across the road where we rode our horses. And the horses would not cross the road if there was any trash in the area. So we'd have to send our wranglers out every morning to go out and clean up all of the garbage and stuff and put it back into the dumpster, or our horses wouldn't go up the trail. They refused to go up the trail. And Jesse got the hair up his butt one day, my partner, and he got a hold of DEC, and he says, hey, we need to do something about these bears. They're bothering my horses. It's bothering my income. DEC officer come out. He looked at the diner. He looked at our ranch. And he says, Jesse, good news for you. Those bears have been here a lot longer than your horses have been. We can't do a damn thing about it.
I'm picking up this table when I'm talking to you.
All right. Well, I've been on for 2 hours now. I'm gonna call this one good. If you want to carry on, Natasha, you can, but I'm gonna drop off.
No, I'm gonna clean all this stuff up and get ready for tomorrow.
All right. Everybody have a good night. We'll see you again next weekend, same time, same place. And don't forget, Dennis, if you want to join, at the top of the chat, there's a tagged link. Talk to you all next weekend.
Bye. I will message you.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. See you guys later.